Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2018 Winston P. Wilson Machine Gun Award Ceremony. I would like to introduce the members of our official party, starting with the National Guard Marksmanship Training Center Command Sergeant Major Billy Ward. Our State Command Sergeant Major Rick Megaloff. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen up front as we offer a look at this year's Winston P. Wilson Machine Gun Championship.
Alpha Company, 157th Infantry, Colorado. The 179th MP Company.
Guard the peace.
We're with the Green Mountain Boys from Vermont.
Alpha 239th, BEB, 39th Infantry Brigade.
We're representing the Michigan National Guard.
We're here with the Main Army National Guard, to the last man.
Alpha Company, 3rd of the 172nd Infantry, Mountain.
And we're with the 2nd Battalion, 153rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team.
We're with Bravo Company 173rd out of Alabama.
Watch moving 2.
.240 is the most casualty-producing weapon on the battlefield.
Drop 4 rounds of 20 rounds.
The South Carolina Army National Guard out of the 4th 118th HHC, Union, South Carolina.
Arkansas Soldier of the Year.
Arkansas Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year.
269th Military Police Company out of the Tennessee National Guard. And the Illinois National Guard.
The Georgia PTAE, moving the readiness needle a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
The 191 Military Police Company out of North Dakota.
Michigan 126.
What we're trying to accomplish with the match is to develop a improved standard of marksmanship and to allow them to compete with each other and learn from each other, because everybody has experiences they can share when they come here.
Please give a round of applause for our Public Affairs Office video production team. I would now like to invite Command Sergeant Major Ward to offer opening remarks.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Major.
Much better, it's much better. Hey, I want to welcome you on behalf of our Colonel Cartwright, and myself, as well as the whole marksmanship team. Again, I want to ask the question, who came here last year? What's one difference from last year to this year? Can you remember? Any difference from last year to this year, those who came last year? You did come last year, right? What time last year did you come? What was the difference from last year to this year then?
Cold this year, hot last year.
What was it?
Cold this year, hot last year.
It was extremely hot last year. One of the things that we're very beneficial for is that at least we had the weather in your favor. Last year, we couldn't control it at all. I mean, it was extremely and excruciating, our pain. We did everything that we could to try to mitigate that by having water out there for you, icing it down. This year, we didn't have to do that so much. So I want to say to you a couple of things real quickly. I looked at it and you saw the PAO, and the PAO was trying their best to do two things, really pushing to make sure we get pictures of every one of you while you're here, because it's incumbent that you take this opportunity to come here, shoot and fire your best, and then when you go home, talk to some other soldiers about what you've done, for sure. Now, those of you who are the first timers, I like that. We've got to have those first timers coming in, because every time you come the first time, you're going to be able to go back and share the good, the bad, the ugly, all those things that you saw that you could do some difference of. My second question is this: anyone fired on this 5 days that you now look at, you can do something different in? That's the goal. If you come here and you know it all, you're in the wrong business. Wrong business. But if you come here and you find some deficits that you can correct on, you're right. You're exactly where you need to be, because now what you're doing is improving that. That's what we want to do. That's what we're trying our best to do. That's what our staff has been tasked to do, is to make sure that when you come here, you're going to sharpen that tool, sharpen that ability to do the things you need to do. And while you're here, the great thing is this. And I'll leave this last remark with you. It is extremely competitive, but at the end of the day, it's camaraderie. When you're out there firing, you try to beat everybody who's out there. I got it. But when the last bullet is downrange, it's about camaraderie. It's about meeting that other soldier from that state, meeting that other soldier from that location, and finding out life is not too much different, even though we're in different states. And the uniqueness of it is networking. So guys, never forget that. You know, there'll be some people here who are extremely good. There'll be some of you who are not. There'll be some who don't know. It's your first time. But don't lose sight just because it's your first opportunity. Make sure you go back, share with your state, share with other soldiers, your units, and say, hey guys, it was a pretty good learning experience. And I hope and pray it was. And I'm hoping that you have safe travel. So I want to make sure I do that as well. Make sure, please do this for me. Because the mission is not complete until you get home safely. It's not. You know, again, you go out tonight, God do all those things, but what benefit is that if you go out tonight and something happens? So all the good things that you've done has cast aside that. We can't let that happen. So I need you to make sure you have a battle buddy, and you make sure that battle buddy, you don't leave that battle buddy alone. So if you do that, guys, I promise you that's going to help us. That's going to help us push that name out for sure and make sure that we do everything that we possibly can. So again, on behalf of Colonel Cartwright and the whole marksmanship team, guys, job well done. Thank you. Let's do the second piece. I got a big list. This is the list I got on with. And I knew he was going to say it. I've known Rick probably now about, and I said Rick, Command Sergeant Major Megaloff. I know him as Rick. But I've known him probably now, I guess, about 7, 8 years. One of a key CSMs that I know is 3 things. This is one thing I'll say about Rick. And Sergeant Major Megaloff, you can't say that. I can't. He is meticulous. He is fair-minded. But once he sees the way, he won't move from that way. I like that. Because one of the things you want to be, the person that's going to come, he's going to talk to you about, there's a benefit in trying to better yourself as a soldier. We can no longer accept who we are. That's what Rick, Sergeant Major Megaloff, he's going to embody that. He's going to try to help you to be able to see that. And so the last thing is this. He is now our state CSM. So I think from that standpoint, he's going to give us some additional guidance in the expectation of the 21st century, 22nd century. To begin looking at what do we look for in the future. So I think he's going to give us that guidance. I think he's going to share some very powerful words of encouragement for you. So I will challenge you to do this last thing, and then I'm going to have him to come. You know, I know you've been working all 5 days. Don't let your buddy go to sleep. You know, so nudge him. If they tired, I got it. Nudge him so you can absorb what our speaker will share with you today. So again, with no further ado, the next voice you shall hear is our speaker, the Command Sergeant Major of Arkansas State CSM, Command Sergeant Major James Megaloff. Give him a hand.
Hey, so I'm glad I finally got to get out. I want to apologize up front to all you all. I had a board this week that was very long, and it's a board that's important to the state because it's about qualitative, making sure we got the right people staying in the guard. Y'all know everybody has one of those, right? So I had a board like that, and then I had to go find some first sergeants today. So I had a leadership board that I had to sit on to select some E7 to become first sergeants, and we were successful there too, so that's good. And so I apologize up front because I do like to be downrange, and I would like to spend some time with you guys because this is an important event, okay? Not just to the Marksmanship Training Center, and not just to the 11, I think you said 11 states, is that right? The 11 states you came from, but to the readiness of the Army, okay? And I want to share a couple things with you because I'm going to get specific here because this is a machine gun competition. When I look at that trophy over there, it says M60 light machine gun. It just so happens when I was in the Ranger Regiment, I was a weapons squad leader, and in the Ranger Regiment, you have a weapons squad in every platoon with 3 guns, okay? 3 gun teams, complete teams, not just 2. You have a gunner, you have an assistant gunner, and you have an ammo bearer. So there's a 9-man squad with a weapons squad leader, right? In every platoon in the Ranger Regiment when I grew up. Well, it just so happens we were the first ones to get what was back then, it wasn't the 240 Bravo, it was the Mag 58, okay? And the regiment was one of the first units to get that Mag 58 when we got away from the M60. I was a weapons squad leader when we transitioned from the M60 machine gun to the Mag 58, okay? And that was a pretty cool deal because we got to do a lot of cool things, obviously, as we're testing this machine gun. And so what I would tell you is my weapons squad, my 9-man squad, was highly trained in everything you need to do to be a team, a crew, okay? To be a squad. So when my platoon went to do a raid or an ambush or a decisive action, whatever it was in the regiment, guess what the most casualty-producing weapon in that platoon was? That company. It was those 240s that were rocking and rolling in each platoon. And if I had to have a company live fire and I had to have a company support live fire position, I could have 9 guns, right? Okay, but gun 7, 8, 9, that was my platoon. I was in 3rd Platoon Charlie Company, and I was weapons squad leader. And guess what the weapons squad leader is in the squad leader chain of command? It's the senior squad leader. You don't go to the weapons squad and be the weapons squad leader until you've been a line squad leader for a few years. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, that's the right way to do it. Now, what I'll tell you is the other thing I'll tell you when you go to a unit that's got it right, and I'm not just talking about the regiment, that's just my background. A unit that's got it right, the first positions you fill are what? The gunner and the assistant gunner in your formation. Because if you're not filling those positions with key folks that understand the system and are going to be good on the system, you're screwing up from the get-go. Okay? So we got to get those gunners right. So what I'm telling you is back to the story about transitioning. We went from the M60, and we were having some problems with the M60. It was just, and really, if you guys go back to 58, that's why they call it the Mag 58. They actually did the test. The United States Army did in 58, and guess what? Guess which weapon won back then? The 58. But guess what? It wasn't a U.S. weapon. Okay, it's not. Okay, so they didn't go with the better weapon. They went with the M60. I'm not talking bad about the M60 because it did a lot of damage in a lot of places. What I'm telling you is the better weapon from operational standpoint and to survive the infantryman, okay, the warrior on the battlefield with the elements and everything else because of the way it takes the round and strips it and puts the link in a different location. To me, the Mag 58, we could have saved ourselves a lot of headaches if we went to that earlier, but the bottom line is when we transitioned from the 60 to the 240, yeah, it was a newer, sexier model, but the bottom line, it was a better weapon when it came to being where it needed to be as far as shooting when it should. Right? That 69-round burst, you don't know what I'm talking about, right? Okay? And I will tell you, my gunners, most of the training I did with these crews, we did dry fire. We didn't need a round. My guys could do gunner drills. Gunner went down, dead gunner drills, barrel changes. They understood the T&E, okay, backwards and forward blindfolds. Okay, they understood how to manipulate that T&E. They knew how to work it, and every one of the members of that team knew how to work it. All right, and we didn't carry, some fake stuff. Every time you carried that system, you carried the system, and you carried the basic load of ammo. Okay. There's a lot of basic load to a 240, and it ain't light. Okay, I don't care if it's blanks or live, it still isn't light. It's a lot of rounds. And these guys jumped it out of an airplane, too. Okay? And it ain't no joke jumping it out of an airplane. All right? And it ain't no joke humping it on the live fire when you have to maneuver with the company commander or the platoon leader, depending on the mission. You're not always going to be in a support live fire position as a gun crew. And you never, what do we see over the last 16 years of war? Where are our 240s mounted? Typically. In 2 places, in a fixed site, or fixed site security, or on top of a what? A vehicle, right? Okay, that's not how it always rolls. How many times I go to a range, because people haven't been to this course, or got this kind of training, and I go to a 240 range in the Army, not just in the Guard, not just in the Reserve component, not in the active component, but everywhere in the Army, and you go out to the 10-meter zero, right? The 10-meter zero before you move to transition, and you got soldiers out there with just a bipod mode weapon with no spare barrels, no spare barrel bags, no T&E, no tripod. I see it all the time, guys. Right? How many courses of fire are there on the qualification if you do it from cradle to grave? How many of them were in the tripod? And how many are in the bipod? You should know that now. Okay? 5 of them are in the tripod and T&E. Okay? You have to know how to do that. If you don't know, if I'm moving the thing counterclockwise, which direction the barrel's going, we got a problem if we're a gun team, okay? We also, what I see a lot of times is when I show up to that same range, Raymond, who's a private, just found out a Friday on a Saturday that he's going to be the gunner of that weapon system. That's a problem, guys. What did I say in the beginning? You got to make sure you fill those critical positions with soldiers that understand that system and train on that system prior to. This PMI thing, where I'm going to go do PMI before I go shoot my weapon, okay, that's crazy. You should already have trained on that weapon, dry fire, and know it left, right, up and down, and sideways. Everything there is to know about that weapon. Okay? It's a gas-operated, belt-fed, fire from the open position. I mean, I could ask my gunners back then when we had the 60. They knew it. They knew the max effective range of a point area target, new tracer burnout, right? They knew all that stuff. They knew how far grazing fire was. They understood how to do a range card. These are just the little things that we take for granted. We just want to squeeze the trigger and fire a 69 round burst. That's the easy part. The hard part is understanding what this crew, what this team means to the organization. Okay? And I want to tell you, the reason I like this course is because you guys, I'm hoping, I know we're not there yet because I told the Sergeant Major earlier, we used to have a lot of old guys out here that just come here to win the competition because they've been doing this forever from a competition base. This is a competition. But you know why we have competitions in the Army today? So we can improve on readiness. Because one of the best ways to improve on readiness is through competition. Make no mistake, nobody wants to be last. And if they're last, and these two guys are first, everything these two guys do, these guys are watching. And I want to be just like that guy. If I got a guy I'm running a 200 sprint, and I like to be a 200 sprinter, and a guy beats me by 3 seconds, I want to know what he's doing. Because he's 3 seconds faster than me. Right? Okay, so these guys that are winning, they're doing something right before they got here. Okay? You don't just get good at this stuff when you show up and someone says, hey, here's your ammo, here's your weapon, do great stuff because you just shoot all the time. This weapon system, this crew, the way they do this competition, especially with the 3 weapons that you carry, it takes practice and it takes a commitment to what you're doing. What I would like to see is every one of you is in a paragraph and line number back at your state in a machine gun team. But I know that's not true. But I think we're closer to that than we've ever been. Okay? The best case scenario is Sergeant Frick is the gunner and Specialist Yurton is the assistant gunner. And they go back to Vermont, if that's their state, and they're in a freaking infantry battalion, and they're one of the gun teams. And their gun is whatever number it is within their organization. And they know it. Okay? That's what we want. Now, I know we don't have all that. Some of you guys, because you're citizen soldiers and you have a job, or you may be AGR, or you may be best warriors, right? Some of it's trigger time and learning how to do things, right? Some of this may be conveniently you were able to come here. Some of it because you just like to be here and you like to shoot and learn about stuff. That's all good. But what I'd like to see is that every one of you is in a paragraph and line number back in your unit. And when you go back, not only are you a better machine gun team, crew, but you take this information you learned and you make all the other machine gun crews better because of the training you learned here and some of the skills you enhanced while you were here, shooting the ammo you got to shoot here. Because typically, back in your state, when you do strat ammo draw for the machine gun teams, you do not see this type of ammo. And you certainly don't see these torches of fire. How many of y'all like some of the stuff you saw here? Right? Okay? This is where we learn. And oh, by the way, if you guys know something that we could do to improve this, I guarantee you Sergeant Major Ward wants to know. I guarantee you First Sergeant Stark wants to know. Okay? We're trying to make this better next year than it was this year. And some of y'all can help us do that. And we want to because we are a marksmanship training center. We're not stuck on stupid. We are all about making ourselves better and giving the next group a better product. Absolutely. Okay? But I really want you to understand that it's important that you understand that everything we do, if you listen to anybody, listen to General Milley, Chief of Staff in the Army, he's going to say, I don't care what you're doing, but you better be adding lethality to your formation. Whatever we just did here for 5 days, you go back to your units, even if you're not a gunner, but you share it with the right people, you're going to make your organization more lethal. Because some of the things you learned here, if they do it, and they practice it, and they rehearse it, and they improve upon it, you just made your organization more lethal. Does that make sense? Whether that's a pistol that you shot this week, or it's a rifle, or it's the machine gun crew system. Does that make sense? I need you guys to understand that and take that away, because that's what it's all about. It's about building readiness in your organization and making yourself a better shooter. And some of y'all are going to pin, that aren't even pinning stripes on yet, don't have stripes on. There's E5s, E6s, and I think I see some. I don't know if I even see a E6, do I? Maybe it's just one. Okay, I think I got one. I remember when I came up, what was it, 3 years ago we started this back up again? After a long, I think it was 3 years ago, right? Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. We had a long gap because of the wars. And I think I saw a bunch of E7s. Dudes were like 25 years in service, 30 years in service, working at range control, and coming here, and they could shoot really good, but it wasn't doing us any good. I want to see younger faces here every year. I want to see E4 and E5, because what you get here, you take back and you stay in your formation, you make it better. You make your marksmanship program better. You make your soldiers better. Here's the best thing about this whole thing, is how many of y'all's confidence improved while you were here? You know the best thing you can do for one of your soldiers? It ain't give them a reward. It ain't paying them a lot of money, because we don't do that. You know what it is, as an NCO or as a leader? To make that soldier more confident in their skills. That's the one thing. That's what training is all about. And when you're more confident as a leader on the skills and drills you just did, there is no way you can't make somebody else more confident. Okay? You need to make your soldiers confident in what they're doing. And when they see that you know what you're doing, they're going to be confident going in that you know what right looks like. But how many times have you been on a range where from jump, when the very first time you sit in the bleachers, someone's briefing you on some bullshit? It's all jacked up, and you're shaking your head going, this guy's briefing me how to fire a backup iron sight, and he's talking about he's showing me a target for a CCO. I know you're all shaking your head. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Now, ain't nobody showed you anything wrong this week, I guarantee you. Everything you're shown here is right, okay? That's the same mentality you need to have when you go out to your range. And when someone has something jacked up, it's just kind of like that, hey, ceasefire thing, where anybody can call ceasefire. You see something jacked up fixing to happen. I mean, we had a soldier, no kidding, was on a range shooting with a weapon that had no back, it had no sight, had no rear sight, just had a front sight post. A handleless weapon with nothing on it. No backup iron sight, no nothing. And the soldier, and the NCO went up to the soldier and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm putting the front sight on the head. Think about that. We got stuff like that going on ranges, guys. So I don't care if you're an E4 or an E7, you see something that ain't right, we need to stop it, because all too often, nobody wants to say anything because they're really not sure. You guys need to be sure. And when you learn the skills you did here, go in the FM. Go back in the FM and see where this is taking it's taking all the basic stuff and expounding upon it, right? So take back there and go back and make yourself a subject matter expert on the weapon systems you fired this week. That would be my homework assignment for you. Go back and make sure that you're correcting people just like you would if they didn't have their headgear on, or they didn't salute an officer, or they didn't come to parade rest for an NCO. The same on-the-spot correction you make there, make yourself a subject matter expert on the stuff you learned this 5 days. Go back to your unit. Trust me, you're going to find yourself as the guy they're going to go to when it comes to running a range like this. You're going to be that subject matter expert. You've already taken a crash course on it. And from a guard perspective, that's huge. 5 days of just shooting 240s, 9mm, and M4s. You guys don't understand how big that is in the guard. All right? That's like 4 years of time when you really spread it out in the guard. No, I'm serious. It really is. So take that. Don't lose sight of it. Don't let it get too far away from you. And build yourself a little book on how to make your organization better with the systems you learned this week. Okay? Hey, I appreciate you guys coming out here. I appreciate your work. Go back and do something about it now. And that's the message I'd leave you with. And just like the Sergeant Major said, hey, mission ain't over till you go back home. Okay? get everybody home. That's the mission, all right? Thank you.
Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Megaloff, for your remarks. Now let's get to the presentation of our awards. As I announce the winners, please make your way to the stage and you will be directed where to stand. Third place, anti-body armor, Sergeant David E. Denal. In second place, Specialist Nicholas M. Peters. First place in the anti-body armor match, Staff Sergeant Thomas J. Davis. Now for the combat pistol 4 stage. In third place, Staff Sergeant Noah O. Matthews. In second place, Specialist Nicholas M. Peters. And in first place, Staff Sergeant Thomas J. Davis. Close quarter battle, third place, Staff Sergeant Lawrence H. Raymond. Second place, Sergeant Jared M. Parham. In first place, Specialist Nolan J. Davis. Corporal Davis. The reflexive fire match. Third place, Sergeant Jacob L. Dennis. Second place, Sergeant Jared M. Parham. First place, Corporal Nolan J. Davis. For the rundown, third place, Corporal Nolan J. Davis. Second place, Corporal Michael J. Paris. In first place, Sergeant Jared M. Parham. Machine gun qualification. Third place, Sergeant Jared M. Parham. Second place, Specialist Nicholas M. Peters. In first place, Sergeant David E. Denal. Sergeant Major Megaloff, did you want to co-present or the team awards? The Field Fire 1, third place, Georgia Alpha. Second place, Michigan Bravo. First place winners of the Field Fire 1, Michigan Alpha.
Good job, man.
Infantry Movers, third place, Vermont Alpha.
Y'all didn't bring in a syrup.
Second place, Arkansas Charlie.
Good job, guys.
First place in the Infantry Movers, Michigan Bravo. Now for Range Card 2, or the limited visibility match. Third place, Georgia Bravo. Second place, Vermont Bravo. And first place in Range Card 2 limited visibility, South Carolina Alpha.
Good job, guys.
The next match is the Range Estimation and Unknown Distance Engagement. In third place, North Dakota Alpha. Second place, Arkansas Charlie. And first place team in the range estimation and unknown distance engagement, Michigan, bravo. Falling plates match. Third place team, Georgia Alpha. Second place team, North Dakota Alpha. First place team in falling plates match is Michigan Alpha. Next match is the 10-meter match. Third place team, Arkansas Charlie. Second place team is Michigan Alpha. The first place team in the 10-meter match, Michigan Bravo. The POW match. Third place team, Colorado Alpha. Second place team, Alabama Alpha. And the POW match, first place team, Michigan Bravo. You want to co-present? Okay. We're moving into the aggregate matches. Top aggregate assistant gunner match. Third place winner, Staff Sergeant Kyle D. McCrae. Second place winner, Corporal Nolan J. Davis. In first place, Sergeant Jared M. Parham. Now for the top aggregate machine gunner awards. Third place, Sergeant Maximil D. Archambault. Second place, Specialist Nicholas M. Peters. Sergeant Nicholas M. Peters. Cool. Cool. First place winner, Sergeant David E. Denal. Now for the Chief's 50 badges. Sergeant Jared Parham, previously awarded. Doesn't get another one. Specialist Nicholas Peters, first award. Sergeant Nicholas Peters. Corporal Nolan Davis, first award. For the final Chief's 50 badge, Sergeant David Denal, previously awarded. Now for the overall machine gun team champions. Third place, Colorado Alpha. Second place, Alabama Alpha. First place, overall machine gun team champions, Michigan Alpha. Now I'd like to invite Command Sergeant Major Ward to the podium for closing remarks.
Hey guys, I want to say again, thank you for the opportunity to offer this particular event to you. Again, I heard some units, some teams, and there's no doubt in my mind, they didn't just come, just like what Sergeant Major Mendel said, they didn't just come these 5 days and perform proficiency. That's not what happens. It takes a lot of your own time, money, and those things to be proficient. I want to say to all of you, keep doing it. Your name did not get called tonight. Keep doing it. Drive that passion to make you the best warrior, the best infantryman that you can be, the very best you can be. Don't let any of this stuff, just because you didn't win, doesn't mean you're not a winner. So don't lose sight of that. Go back, pick up some things, twerk some things, do what you need to do, and then make sure you're ready for the next opportunity. I want to close on this one. Right there. Sergeant right there on that side. Right there. Come on, say. I want to show you something real quick. Stand just like y'all standing. These are the 2 biggest guys I've seen out here. It has nothing to do with size, but it has to do with passion. And I can tell, again, just observing them today. Again, just on this event, they had a passion, whether they won or not. I saw when they came up, they wanted to make sure they echo each other. I'm saying it's the same thing I've seen from each of the teams that came out. I just want you to make sure, you don't have to have 15 years of legacy in order to be able to have that passion. So I want to say to these guys here, job well done, man. Keep it up. And I want to ask each of you to do the same thing. When you go back to your unit, learn from each other, help each other, and be the best soldier you can possibly be. So again, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming down. Hey, this afternoon, I know you got a little free time. Be safe. Please be safe. And then tomorrow, the timeline. He'll tell you the timelines. When you get ready to leave here tomorrow, again, do that travel plan. Go back over again. If you don't get enough rest, then don't push yourself, guys. I'm telling you right now, I got to get you home. I got to be able to know when we check our box on tomorrow and check to make sure that individuals have hit their home safely. We got to make sure you get there. And so if you don't get there, then we really hadn't completed the mission. And so please do that for me. Please make sure if you're going to go out, do whatever you need to do, but do it reasonably and do it cautiously. Because again, we don't need anybody to get hurt, for sure. But I just want to tell you, hey, outstanding job. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. Really had a good time. And I want to say this team over here, I think this is the team that really surprised they won. Good job. Good job over there. Those things happen for sure. Now, last one was this. Was it Clayton? He never thought his birthday would have been a benefit. He ended up, his birthday came in the right time, and he gets an award. So never, ever fool yourself. There's always a benefit out there. So, hey, guys, enjoy yourself. Tell somebody else about our program. And same thing, Sergeant Major Megalon said, hey, it's more than just being marksmanship. It's about being lethal. Because, what I've been able to see, I'll take my seat on this one. Some of you all, I would not want to be nowhere near you when you're firing. Because you're going to hit your target. So that's what we want. We want people, we don't want them to know where we are. When we fire, we want them to know we're coming after them. That's what it is. We're not just putting rounds down range. We're putting cause and effect. And when a bullet goes out, it's hitting the target. And that's what we want you to make sure you do. So you keep doing that, and I promise you the enemy will be fewer and fewer because they don't want to come your way, for sure. So again, have a good, safe rest of the evening. Be safe traveling back home on tomorrow. Thank you.